what's something Trump could do that would reveal him to be a
Trump
racist?
could put on a white hood, right? He could say, yeah, by the way, what I said in Charlottesville, I really meant it.
So what is the most something you believe strongly, but people would think you're a bad person for believing it?
Something that people would think it... I don't know that I actually... I can't think of anything off the top of my head that makes me think other people would think badly of me for this, because I would probably feel strongly in my opinion.
Okay.
So I don't know that I would... well, here's one. I don't think Trump's a racist.
Okay, that's one.
I don't think Trump's a racist person.
Trump is not a racist.
No, I don't think that.
Okay, want to talk about that for like 5 minutes?
I can, sure.
Okay. And to convert that into a yes/no question, is Trump a racist?
No.
Cool. Just as a question to talk about. Cool. So 5 minutes for that. Awesome. I like to put these on the board just to see. So here's a little confidence scale. If all the way to the right, black is absolutely yes, he is a racist, or all the way to the left, white is no, absolutely not. Where would you put your confidence about that? You have a little confidence scale. Leaning towards yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
The other way is no.
Oh.
Okay. Fairly confident he's not, but still leaving room to be open.
Well, I think the first thing would be like we'd have to define what racism is.
Good. What
I think
is
before,
racism?
I personally think that racism comes into play when somebody is holding your race against you when it comes to something that's going to keep you from progressing forward in life. Jobs, opportunities. So I certainly don't think he's doing those things.
Okay, cool.
I also think that racism is different from prejudices, right?
That's a
being
different
prejudiced and being racist, I think, are two different things.
Like prejudice based on skin color, is that equivalent to racism, or is racism different?
I think that prejudice for me comes into play where there might be, ideas or things that people hold, but they don't necessarily act on them or use those things to determine things about other people. I think that we're all guilty of having some, being prejudiced in some way, whether it be like from our childhood or previous old ideas that your parents had, or like, preconceived notions of things, judging people without knowing them, so.
Someone could believe people are less than based on their skin color, but if they don't act out on it, then they're not a racist?
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, I think that if somebody actually believes somebody is less than, like if they think that,
okay.
That would be a racist thing where they're like, oh, this person is that way.
That qualifies as well.
Yeah, I would think that's a form of it's racist. Yeah.
So a set of beliefs and actions is a factor in racism.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting lost in the semantics of it.
Yep. Well, let's try to clarify. What is racism in your mind? Let's go back, just start over.
I think racism involves systematically trying to hold somebody down based on their gender, race, sex.
Systematically trying to hold someone down?
Right.
What does that mean?
Not offering them opportunities professionally.
Individuals or something else?
Well,
it would.
I guess it would be reflected upon an individual.
Like someone passing over a black person
because they're black.
Because they're black.
Yeah.
For a job.
Right.
That's systemic racism, systematic, or just racism in general.
Right. I think if that was a thing happening across the board, right? If this was a thing nationally, where, for example, for whatever reason, the railroads, they don't hire black people.
That would be a
right,
systemic...
and that was a thing that kept happening. They said we can't have these people here.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, in regards to Trump, has Trump systemically tried to hold anyone down based on their race?
No.
He hasn't done that.
No, I don't believe that.
Okay. What's the closest thing people have accused him of doing?
I think that Trump has been very guilty of saying really stupid things. I think he said, I think that he is certainly guilty of being outspoken. I think you can say he's an asshole. And but I think for the most part, like I think people have taken things that he said and turned them into something much greater than they were, and that's the only thing that gets pushed. And I think it's probably, I mean, these are the things that happens to I think a lot of people in the media. They say one thing that's part of like, you know, a larger speech or something like that, and they only use the soundbite that fits what they're trying to push. So I don't think this is a thing that's unique to Trump. I think this is something that happens to people in the public eye all the time.
Yeah, I can think of two prominent examples. Is like the Charlottesville
good people on
people on both sides, and the Mexicans. They're sending their rapists. What's the story there with Trump being a racist or not?
I think in both instances, taking any one of either one of those things that, you know, the Mexicans are sending rapists and all that thing that he had to say that day, and the same thing about what happened in Charlottesville. I think when given the chance to clarify, he said differently, and
What did he say?
he. In the instance of Charlottesville, I mean, he's straight up condemned him. I mean, I don't know how many times he's done it, but I don't think there's a shortage of times that he's came out and said, hey, he's been accused of being a white nationalist, a Nazi, which to me is wildly offensive to people who have, you know, personal experiences in the Holocaust, the Jewish people. You know, that's a very serious accusation. And I think that the same people that are saying those kind of things have called everybody racist, you know, like, and at some point, you know, they've called Joe Biden a racist, and people who are good people. And at some point, if everybody's racist, then nobody's racist. When it came to the Mexico thing, I think me, for example, my parents are immigrants. So I, of course, sympathize with anybody that's trying to get to this country. You know, but I think what he was talking about isn't much different than what politicians in the past have talked about. You know, if we're talking specifically, for example, about a wall, this is something that people on both sides of the aisle in the last 10 years all voted for.
Yeah, is the wall a racist policy?
No, I don't believe the wall is a racist policy. I think it's an immigration policy that you can agree with or not. But I think that anybody who's trying to get to this country, is particularly from other places and is waiting their turn and they're going through the proper channels, you know, would be pretty upset to know that they can't get in while other people are. And
if Mexico was full of white people, he would still have the same policy.
You know, Mexico has a lot of white people.
Yeah. Just hypothetically, it's not a race thing.
No, I don't think it's a race thing. I think it has to do with a lot of people that are coming through the border all the time. A lot of these people actually. And this isn't anything that anybody hasn't said in the past. I mean, there's horrible things happening to people on this journey. It's dangerous. There is human trafficking. Women in particular, children are being, I mean, everything, you know, from raped to dying along the way. And these are things that have been happening for a very, very long time.
Yeah, what keeps you from going all the way to the other side, all the way down?
To what?
In your confidence.
Into that he's not a racist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody's perfect. I mean, I don't know. I guess overall, I think that I don't ever give like 100% on anything. You know what I mean? Like I think if I was to.
So you'd say that for anybody?
I would probably put everybody somewhere, you know, towards that thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what criteria could we use to determine if someone is racist? Like what's something Trump could do that would reveal him to be a
Trump
racist?
could put on a white hood, right? He could say, yeah, by the way, what I said in Charlottesville, I really meant it. And I am a white supremacist, and I've been with the KKK my entire life.
That seems highly implausible. What's the most plausible thing he
No,
could
no,
do?
that to me is, I don't believe
that's
in...
the minimum threshold?
No, I think that's the threshold. I think that if he's being accused of being a white supremacist and a Nazi, then you put on that hat.
Just a racist.
Just a racist. I don't know. I don't think I don't believe that anything has happened since he's been in office that really, to me, has any
Yeah.
bearing onto whether
What could he do to see him as a racist in your eyes,
policy-wise. I mean,
or anything?
I think somebody he would just really have to, that would be outside of policy. He would actually have to express something along the lines that a certain group of people was inferior and can't do X, Y, Z. I mean,
If he expressed those opinions.
if he expressed that directly, that to me would constitute, oh, that's racist. But I see, I see minorities doing better. I think that he's, instead of talking about it, he's actually done things in regards to prison reform, and people have come out of jail. I think that black unemployment, from what I understand, is the lowest it's been. If that's like racism, give me more of that. I want to see people do good. So there's no excuse for what's happening right now in the division of our nation. I think that he certainly, holds a large amount of responsibility in all these things, and but I think that that a lot of other people do as well for pushing these kind of things. They want it to be so. It's almost like people aren't happy unless things are bad, or they're not happy unless he's a racist.
Yeah, the people are trying to accuse him as a racist. They're to get him impeached in order to get him out of office because they don't agree with his
to me,
policies.
the whole thing's been political, and I think the people reporting on it are also not just reporting on what's news. They're reporting on what is also their beliefs, and I don't have a problem with the news being opinion based as long as that's what they're describing it as.
Yeah, as long as that's
if you hate the person in office, sure, you want to get him out, and I think that's the case with either party every time somebody the other side's elected.
Yeah.
But
Sweet. Well, I think I get your perspective, Alex. That's really cool. Any questions for me?
no, what is this for?
For my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. What's that?
It's my hobby. I like to practice this thing called street epistemology, which is a conversational
Say
method.
again?
Street epistemology. It's a conversational method, mainly just asking questions, listening, to help people reflect on whatever they believe and why.
Okay.
And I like to give one of these little puzzle pieces as a gift to people. So feel free to pick a color, and if you see me again, you can come back and get another color. Build out the set.
Oh no, you need the whole set.
I'd like to have multiple conversations, and I'd like to give one of these as a gift, so you can come back and get the rest if you want.
Okay. No,
You
you
don't have to.
I'll have more stuff. All right, man.
That's
Nice
fine.
talking to you. What's your name?
Nice meeting you. Reed.
Reed.
Yep. Thank you.